Hello, my name is Erica Mergel. I am going to be presenting my interpersonal communication plan assignment, and I recorded my presentation on May 10th. Currently, I am in the Human Service Counseling program. I am a licensed chemical dependency counselor 3 in Ohio, and I currently work in a 45-day partial hospitalization program for those that struggle with substance use disorders. I have been married for 19 years. In August, I have an 18-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter. And I am also a licensed massage therapist. And my goal is to eventually open a faith-based healing center for women that struggle with substance use, as well as are in need of internal healing. I'm a certified abuse and trauma mentor through the Healing Tree Ministries and a level 2 minister through Global Awakening. And I have 2 associate's degrees, one in human services, one in social science, and a bachelor's from Ohio University, technical applied science with a focus of social science and community health. So I would say that effective communication impacts every part of my life, personal and professional. So it involves sharing information and feelings and meaning through spoken and unspoken messages and conversations. So Schultz and Basinski, 2015, from a biblical worldview, report that it supports relationships with God, others, and ourselves, highlighting its significance. So in this presentation, I'm going to be outlining a communication plan, starting with an overview of my interpersonal communications, considering my own personal style and background, and identifying some of my communication barriers. So I'll be setting clear goals for direct efforts and specific strategies to enhance my interpersonal skills. And then by the end, the plan will help me better build meaning and better strong connections with others. So drawing from my uniquely you profile, my behavior blend shows a mix of setting goals, focusing on tasks, and being an active communicator. So matching the dominant, inspiring, cautious, so the DIC style from the DISC framework. So I often plan and make quick decisions, which shows in how I communicate and being both direct and supportive, building trust in organizations and encouraging teamwork. However, my cultural background and upbringing are important, as early experiences taught me the importance of respect and thoughtful answers, which sometimes makes me hesitant in stressful conversations. So to address some of these challenges in my communication, I've identified several key barriers, such as a tendency to dominate conversations and my hesitancy in high pressure discussions. So these barriers have sometimes hampered my professional relationships, as well as my personal relationships, causing misunderstandings and missed opportunities. So my plan involves actively developing listening skills and practicing more empathy to understand others' perspectives better. So by implementing reflective listening techniques and setting conversational boundaries, I aim to foster more open and balanced dialogue. So incorporating feedback and self-assessment will help me measure my progress and adjust strategies as needed to ensure ongoing improvement within my interactions. So according to NAP 2020, communication habits formed by personal traits and social settings can help build relationships or lead to misunderstanding based on how people handle different environments. So therefore, while being assertive often helps me encourage collaboration, it sometimes unintentionally makes me come across like too controlling, too dominating. Sometimes I can be intimidating unintentionally, and then showing both the positives and negatives in my communication style. So some communication barriers, so unclear messages can lead to misunderstanding and frustrations, and reduces willingness to communicate, affecting relationship dynamics and also building trust. So this hinders my ability to connect with others, challenging ongoing collaboration within my team, and even my personal relationships or even new relationships. So another barrier is my tendency to give advice instead of engaging others in problem solving, as suggested by France and Winkle. So I aim to listen. One of my goals is to listen more effectively, as suggested by Schultz and Basinski. They emphasize that listening is crucial for developing meaningful relationships. And then some of my goals and strategies. The main goal of my interpersonal communication plan is to promote more openness and clarity when expressing my views, especially in situations where psychological or content barriers have reduced my ability to share. So sometimes some of those psychological barriers is I could be self-conscious and also feel like have a fear of judgment, so which reduces my ability to share. So achieving this goal is key to building genuine relationships, and as well as boosting my effectiveness in the team setting. So with clients, as well as with clients in my personal life. So it will also help me build trust and share success. So to overcome some of these challenges, I will seek feedback in a structured way, and then as well as practice the active listening and use clear, straightforward language in my behavioral traits. So these strategies not only combat the hesitation and the vagueness, but it'll also focus on building relationships through thoughtful dialogue and proactive involvement. And then some of the implementation, so I'll practice more specific actions based on self-reflection, and as well as to turn my interpersonal communication plan into measurable improvements. First, I'll ask for regular feedback from my team as well as close friends and family. And then I'll use my assertive behavior as well, based to hold myself more accountable. And then these skills will just help me build more stronger, more clear language, and I'll use more I statements in both my written and spoken conversations. So another thing that I would like to incorporate more into my just my communication plan is I would like to also incorporate more biblical worldviews and principles, such as speaking truth in love, such as in Ephesians 4:15, using edifying speech, Ephesians 4:29, demonstrating gentleness, Proverbs 15:1, and pursuing that reconciliation as it speaks in Matthew 18:15. So committing to this plan can enhance my personal effectiveness, my relationships, and my personal growth. So thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.